Right.
Let's do this, dude.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And this is Predicting the Programming, the 2021 Age Group Online Qualifier. Bill, we have come full circle. This was the first episode we ever did.
Dang, that's right. Well, we didn't predict it.
Almost.
We analyzed it.
Yeah, so
we're one out.
One out. Between the circle is complete. It's not complete because we're not stopping the podcast after we go year to year to the Age Group Online Qualifier, but it was the episode that spurned all of this. So you guys can thank that for all the, I would say, wonderful or yet painful material that we give you guys on a weekly basis. But the floor plans of the individual quarterfinals, the Age Group Online Qualifiers have been released.
Part trace.
Now, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek there because they aren't exactly the same, but some of them are very similar. And what we're going to do on this episode is predict the programming / what we would actually just like it to be. Good, we'll say fun programming for the Age Group Online Qualifiers, because if we were to try to predict it like we did for the teams, we struggled with, okay, well, here's what I'm pretty sure it's going to be, and here's what I'd really rather it be. This is going to be what we would rather it be episode.
Did you hear my sigh on that one? I will say this. I had a difficult time I was more into trying to redo the team setup rather than this one. And I have some differences. But I think that they are, the hard part is that we have said multiple times since we've talked about these very similar floor plans multiple times now, is that we like the events. So trying to come up with them totally different. And then also the way that they fit in. So you have your qualifier for the semifinals. That's one purpose of it. Then we have qualifier to the semifinals for the teams, which is, again, should be a little bit different. And now we have qualifiers that go straight to the games.
Right.
So it is different. And we said that we really liked the programming, at least the skeleton of the programming on the individual side, but maybe it was placed in the wrong place. So I had a hard time trying to redo the whole deal. So there was a lot of, I think mine is more tweaks on the current setup to make it appropriate to make it go in.
Yeah, I would say that's kind of what I'm doing as well, because you're right. We have a lot of strong opinions on what the programming has been so far.
Yeah.
On the individual side, it was,
what the hell are you doing to these like top 8,000 people?
That one was too hard. And then there's this weird inconsistency on how you approach your women between a wall ball height and a box height. Other than that, we had really no issues.
Like the events.
Program. Yeah.
Wrong placement of the events for a qualifier at that stage.
Yeah. And what we had were like little tweaks. It was like, hey, the volume of GHDs and pistols is entirely too much. Lower it so it's a more fun test and safer test. The 9-foot wall ball target, that's a personal thing for us because we don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
And then you did the weird thing that you gave the women a 30-inch box instead of 24, right? Those are two little tweaks. Either raise the height of the target and keep the box, really raise the height of the target and lower the box. But one of those, right? Some consistency there. Those issues bothered us. On the team side, it was the individual events on basically the last three. And we gave very minor tweaks that turned individual events into team events. And we tried not to actually change the programming too much, because it would be unfair just to be like, well, here's what it should have been. And just give them events that, what we try to do is at least work within the floor plans.
Yeah.
Work with the equipment that is given to us and really show, and really what it is show you to the crowd is like, well, why does it all have to be different? Isn't that too confusing? It's like, no, it's really not that hard.
Right.
It just takes a little bit. And so yeah, I'm working within the floor plans. My events are trying to be similar to what have happened, but not the same, so that like if you were to do all three, which you could have if you wanted to,
yeah,
you wouldn't have to do the same thing 3 times.
You wouldn't have had to do 300. Well, what is that? If you got through all, let's just say you did 100. Let's just say you did 100 of the GHC and pistols. That you didn't want to have to do 300
over the last 3 weeks. Yeah. So for this one, when we predict the programming, we're also going to give very similar programming to what has happened. But, if I'd be like, hey, the weight event 4 is going to be another 4-rep max front squat. I don't want that to be it. So I'm going to say something different, even though if we were to bet money on the prediction, which probably, right. Does that make sense?
No, totally. No, I get it.
Well, I'm excited for that. So what we'll do is we'll go through the floor plans. Me and Bill will give our guesses or our own personal programming. Mm-hmm. And at the end, we'll do our little mishmatch and put together what the best 5 events we can collaborate between the two of us. But before we get there, we have our Programmatron of the week, Bill.
Yeah.
You guys support us on Patreon, which you guys are just, y'all are killing out there. You're killing it just in life because you support the show. And that's the only reason why you're killing it. I'm just kidding. But every week, if you guys support us on Patreon, we pick a random Programmatron and we give them a free month of programming. And this week goes to Marilyn Smith.
Yeah,
Marilyn started CrossFit almost 9 years ago. I was 42 at Front Range CrossFit.
Wow.
Now there's an OG.
Yeah.
Affiliate right there. Starting CrossFit when she was a master's, a lot like you. How old are you when you started?
Competition wise, I just turned 40. That was the 2009, 2008.
Yeah.
2009, I think. Yeah.
So Front Range CrossFit, where I am still a member. Good for you. Way to stick with them.
That's awesome.
That's a good affiliate to be at. A couple friends had started CrossFit and I loved it. So I looked at the closest gym and went in for a skills class and signed up that day, not realizing initially how lucky I was to find that particular box. That is true.
Yeah.
You landed on a good one. I've been hooked ever since. Our home gym and our amazing owner's Zoom classes got me through the worst of the pandemic. I'm a psychiatrist and it has been a tough year, man. That's the one thing people really don't, I think, talk about enough is we're like, oh, the physical. And I know we talked about this when we started our podcast. We started this during
pandemic, right as it hit. Yeah.
And we talked about how to do some home gym programming, how to do that. But we also talked about like taking care of your mental as Marshawn Lynch would say, take care of your mentals, because being isolated, being, like stuck in your home and not being able to interact with people, friends, take care of your fitness side is like, people don't talk about the mental challenges enough. And that's a big thing that a lot of people deal with, that it's almost taboo to talk about. So good for you.
Yeah.
Marilyn being a part of that, getting back into the gym to see everyone, get a good sweat on and forget about the day has made this year bearable. So Marilyn, thanks for being a part of our Programmatron army. And have
fun with your month, man.
Yeah, enjoy.
And all you Programmatrons that have gotten the month, throw some of those months up there. Throw some of those workouts that you're doing. Tag us in there so we can post them up. Just to kind of see what you guys are doing. What's funny is when we give them the program and then they start going, hey, so I would like to request this, that, the other thing. It's like, whoa, hey now, hey. We'll help you out with those, but come on now, we're not building a car from scratch here. But man, show us what you're doing. I want to see what you guys are doing out there.
Absolutely. So I want to thank you guys for supporting the show. We want to thank our sponsors, Bubs Naturals. Go to bubsnaturals.com. Use the code GETWITH20 for 20% off. They got that MCT oil powder, mixes beautifully in your morning coffee. The best non-dairy creamer there is. It's now just part of what I do, not just like my morning routine like that. Totally. It's a part of me.
It's built into you.
The collagen protein is that fountain of youth. They just release like 10 things that collagen protein does for you.
Oh yeah.
There's no reason not to take it anymore.
Yeah.
There's no downside. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. So that collagen protein is part of that. If you use the code GET-WITH20 for 20% off everything you buy every single time. Our Element 26 still blowing up the thumb tape. This we haven't got back. So if you guys use the code GET-WITH15 at element26.co, you get 15% off all US orders. I have been using their grips. Have you used their grips yet?
I have. Man, they're crazy. Yeah, they're legit.
I had a member, I had one of our members try it, and he's like, there's no way we should be allowed to use these. That's what it was. Of it, it's anti-chalk, right? Because they have that like that rubbery texture.
Yeah.
And so you wipe them clean, even like a little moisture, like you get them, wipe them clean, wipe your bar clean. And once you latch on, it's almost like they're hooks.
Mm-hmm.
That's how sticky or grippy those things are. And that's just one of many things they have.
When you can hang by you're not hanging by your hands, you're hanging by your wrists.
Yeah, right?
It's awesome. So awesome.
Like my grip fatigue does not apply to my wrist.
Nope.
So those things are amazing. The knee sleeves are great. The belt is just fantastic. So if you guys want 15% off, go to element26.co. Use the code GETWITH15 for 15% off your next PR. And with the Age Group Online Qualifier just a day away, you got to have some proof of that performance.
That's right. And you got to use the best video recorder that's out there. And it's we've said it so many times. There's a bunch of video recorders out there, ways to get your online qualifier set up, your video submitted, all that kind of stuff. But the WOD-proof app, you have to check it out, not just for the video itself, because it is amazing, and the way it can be set up, and how you can link it to heart rate monitors. If you have a Whoop, you can connect it to that. If you have a rower or a Concept 2 piece of equipment, you can connect it to that, which is huge because it puts it right on the screen, which is a giant help. But here's the thing, and this is a connection that I actually just found out about. So whenever you use it, you get paid to use it in WOD-proof coins. So every time you make a recording, you get a WOD, you get a certain amount of WOD-proof coins, whatever they are. Now, with those coins, check this out. You can buy online. They have like over 30 different companies you can choose from. And guess who one of the companies is? Element 26.
No.
Yeah, just notice that connection. So here's the thing. If you have, so I think I'm up to like 60 coins right now from the recordings that I've been kind of playing with and doing. Yeah. If you use, let me see what it is here. If you use 30 coins, no, 25 coins, you get 20% off anything on the Element 26.
Really?
Yeah. So here's
let's walk through this.
Dude.
It's just get with the programming benefit package.
Yes.
Because if you use the code GETWITH
on WOD-proof,
on WOD-proof, you get a free trial, 7-week of the Pro Pack, 20% off a 3-month subscription.
3-month. Yep. And so you figure it's only $9.99 a month anyways. But you use GETWITH, you're going to have a 20% off a 3-month deal. You get that. In that 3 months, you're going to be making recordings.
Yeah, if you record, just record what your workout is.
Totally.
Every time. And then you get crypto money.
Yeah.
And then you can go back to Element 26.
Yeah.
And save even more money.
Yes. I mean, dude, and let me so there's RX Smart Gear, there's Ryling grips, there's Virus clothing, there's Caffeine Kilos, there's Xenios USA, there's Pure Spectrum, there's Toe Spacers. I mean, they have so many people that they've paired up with to get this. It's massive.
That's awesome.
It's massive.
Dude, I want to start saving up videos and get myself a new Evo rope from RX Smart Gear.
Dude, seriously. I mean, like, it's so rad. I mean, just like the connection is cool. But, and above and beyond that, the benefit of the WOD-proof app, the Pro Pack, is all of the training programs they have. They have 12-week programs in everything. It's skills, nutrition, cardio type stuff, strength stuff, rowing stuff, masters stuff. They have competitions, the WOD-proof Go League or the Go Masters League, where you can actually compete head to head against anyone. And if they have a certain number of people that join that particular week, then they have prizes to give out to that. So it is a full-blown platform to improve yourself. So if you really want to improve yourself and get kickbacks at the same time, you got to go check them out. So WOD-proof app get with for 20% off the 3-month deal. You got to do it, you guys. You got to do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of improving, let's improve the programming for the.
Dang, nice segue.
That's why they don't pay us the big bucks. Segments just like that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We have our 5 floor plans. We'll explain each one, and then me and Bill will give our programming that we have planned for this. Now, I don't know what you did, but I just had what the basic programming will be. I didn't tear it down for the other age.
I didn't tear it down much. I mean, like it would, I have them in there, but I didn't go heavily specific into whatever. I just kind of maybe light brushings on the outer sides of the age groups.
Okay. I believe I went first on the team side. So okay. I'll explain the floor plan, and then I will let you go first, and then I will second. So floor plan number 1, very similar to the first 2 that we had on the individuals and teams. We have our 40 by 24 inch box, 5 feet from the edge of the box. We have our pair of dumbbells.
Yep.
And then instead of a jump rope, we have a rower. So this is a little bit different setup from the equipment side, not necessarily the floor setup. And
right.
the video went is he went box to dumbbell to rower.
Yeah.
That was his movement pattern. And they seem to be pretty consistent in that movement pattern, as that is actually the order as which the movements are within the event. So
right.
With that setup, with the box, the dumbbells, and the rower, Bill, what is your event number 1?
Okay, so before I start, one of the things that I have to say is I believe that this qualifier should be different than what the quarterfinal qualifier was, because with the quarterfinal you can have a lower scale of movements because you have the semifinals to really take another sifting out and move people to the games, where here we didn't have that. So one of the problems I see already with this particular setup is that you are going to have age group qualifiers getting to the games where the high skilled stuff has not been tested. And so we could very possibly have people that, I mean, in reality, probably shouldn't be at the games, showing it up at the games. I mean, we don't have a rig, so that pulls out all the pull-ups, all the bar muscle-ups, all the rings, all the anything like that, which I think that's unfortunate. However, with that being the case, when I started looking at some of these, I'm like, okay, I feel that some of these movements need to be increased. So when you looked at the original quarterfinal setup, it had the strict handstand push-ups, which I thought was great, and then it went to kipping handstand push-ups. Mm-hmm. The way I did this particular one, and God dang it, we're going to get devil press in this stupid thing. So I put the devil's press in again for a 3rd time. And you know what they say, 3 strikes, you're out, but I'm going for it. Great. Swinging for the fences on this one. But what I did was 12-minute AMRAP, 4 strict handstand push-ups, 8 devil press with the 15 to 35s in a 12-calorie row. So instead of having to break, you just have to kind of cycle through it on this one. That's what I did on this.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say mine. I like yours so much more. That's very Nate-ish.
Very. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
I originally was starting to go a longer time, so I had it originally where it was 2, 4, 8, more like Nate for 20 minutes. But I knew just with the way that they had the other one set up, and I'm like, okay, well, you got that GHD one that's in there, so I think that will be kind of set to be the long one. And so in that same frame, I brought the time down so that we can kind of go through, and it kind of keeps it similar to the handstand push-ups and that fatigue level of the shoulders. But I like the pushing and the pulling that was on this, with the strict handstand push-up as your push. Devil's press is like a pull and a push, and then the row is your pull. So you kind of have that cycling, that blending all the way through on each one. And I figure with the time down, you're still getting the same thing. I mean, the 1-minute rest, I didn't see it being necessary in this one. So I just like the cycling it.
You know what I would like to do? I would like to take yours, modify it into exactly what you we're hedging against, but the way this might fit, but depending on what we decide to do on 2.
Yeah.
Maybe. So what I have coming up on event 2 is really nothing spectacular, but the way I have it set up will be a faster test than what it previously was for the individuals and teams.
I'm cool with that. If we did that, then I would make.
What I was wanting to do was to actually make this the long one.
Yeah.
So we said Nate.
Yeah.
What about Nate rep scheme? 2 strict handstand or
2, 4, 8
push-ups.
Yeah.
4 devil press. 8 cal row.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yes, I'm good. Because that's what I had originally. Like I was right in those confines.
If they don't do that, I'm programming this workout next week.
Nice, dude. I like it.
I love that idea. I love Nate, but Nate is it's a kick in the shorts. Like
totally
every 6 months, because I've always wanted to do 20 rounds of Nate, and the last time I did it, I finally got it after a few days of trying. Usually it was because I always had kind of back issues and back tightness, so usually it was my back that wouldn't let me.
Really?
Right. Well, fatigue, handstand, push up. Where do you sacrifice?
Right.
You sacrifice midline, right? So you hyperextend in your low back, mid back, heavy kettlebell swings.
Yeah.
Same thing, that flexion and extension through that. So my back just couldn't sustain it. And the last time I did it, felt good the whole way through. So I was like, I'm getting 20 rounds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this. So I eventually ended up getting it. So I like that. Okay. So 2 strict handstand push-ups.
Yeah. 2.
4
devil press, 8 cal row. 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, put that one on there. Make that one be the one.
All right. And 20 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Settled.
Done.
Okay, moving on. Floor plan number 2. The same exact floor plan we had for the individuals and the same exact floor plan that we had for the teams. 1 GHD, 8 feet away from a climbing rope with another secondary box for a third movement.
What I did on this was, instead of the 60-50 moving on down that way, I did 40-30-20-10, but I flipped it. So I went 10 GHD, 1 rope climb, 10 pistols, and then 22-20, 33-30, 40-40 with a 20-minute time cap. So I went up.
Okay.
So again, that was kind of in the confine. So I'm anxious to hear what your faster ones. Then I like the faster ones that you have had earlier. So I'm good to do that. I think I want to flip whatever you had though, unless you went rounds.
The fast version I have is your set, but going the other direction, so the speed stays up. So it's 40 GHDs, 4 regular rope climbs, not legless, into pistols, 30, 20, 10, or 22, 20, 10. And so since I'm going down, it'll be a faster workout.
Let's do that.
So 40, 30, 20, 10, GHD, rope climb, pistol.
Yeah.
4 time. And I kept it regular instead of legless because it is 10 rope climbs, and this is the Masters division, and that will just make you go faster.
Well, I mean, I think, and I wasn't thinking legless. I was thinking just regular rope climbs. Okay. Did I say legless?
Well, no, you had legless in your previous 2 versions.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I think that I was thinking more trying to keep the tempo up on this as well.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that. So let's do, just flip it. So 40, 30, 20, 10.
40, 30, 20, 10, GHD, rope climb, pistol.
Pistols, yep.
Cool.
Yeah. What's time cap do you have on that?
With that, I was thinking more 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 15 minutes. 12 minutes?
I'd say go 15.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
what is everyone getting through? Everyone was getting
sit-ups at a conservative to strong pace, 90 seconds to 2 minutes. You think an average person doing breaks and stuff are doing 20 GHD sit-ups a minute on average.
Yeah.
4 rope climbs, give them another minute. That's pretty fast, though.
That's also the first set, though, too. I mean, if you figure,
I don't know, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, that's 6 minutes for the first round. If you're given 30 seconds for every quarter of work, right? 10 reps every 30 seconds on the GHD, one rope climb every 30 seconds on the, I feel like that's a little slow, but.
No, I agree.
10 reps every 30 seconds on the pistols. Call it 5. 5, 4, 3, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2.
If you go 15 minutes, that'll give 5 minutes for the first round.
Yeah.
5 minutes for the second round. That takes in fatigue on that, and then 5 minutes for the last 2 rounds.
30 because it's a 20-10 split. So 5, 15, but done.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Everybody should have an opportunity to finish, so that we don't have to worry about like reps and stuff. And
yeah,
I'm good with that. Okay, so we have a 20-minute time frame of solid work. I think most people.
Your top people, your qualifiers, your qualifiers for the games,
they're going to be between 10 to 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's your classic CrossFit time frame. We have a triplet.
Yep.
10 to 12 minutes with a cap of 15. Okay. I like that. Floor plan number 3. Now, if you don't know your history of open workouts and masters cheaters.
Yeah, I know, totally.
There's no way it's going to. I'm curious to see what you say. I just punted to that's for sure what it's going to be, but it's a barbell and a jump rope.
What could that be?
What could that? Now, say the Age Group Online Qualifier has a history of repeating certain events, either from regionals or past open. They repeated Amanda. They repeated that clean toes to bar double under chipper.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a history there of some type of repeat. So I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but.
Well, yeah. The first time I saw this, I was like, duh, 10 rounds, 30 double unders, 9 thrusters. Okay. Duh. I took a switch on it. What I did was, instead of breaking it that way, I made it sort of Kelsu-ish. So I said 100 thrusters for time.
Oh, Bill.
Every minute on the minute, you have 30 double unders.
Dang.
Starting with 30 double unders.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. I mean,
so I kept the weight the same. I originally was starting to go up in the weight because I'm like, all right, I want to put I want to make it a little heavier. So it's not just, super light guy stuff, but I kept with the 95-65. And again, it would probably end up being the same as your 10 rounds of whatever, but I think that in reality, it's 10 more thrusters, but it also puts an emphasis now, not I'm trying to get through the rounds and how do I break the rounds, but now I'm being chased by the clock and chased by my double unders. And I have to get these double unders done unbroken so that I have time to get my thrusters in. So like your strategies start playing a little bit different.
I really like that.
Pretty fun, huh?
I really do like that. That's a cool idea. And you're right, because your fastest times of the old open workout, and that's really what I thought it was going to be, 10 rounds, 9 thrusters at 95.
It's going to be that. I'm just saying I wanted something different, but it's going to be that.
It's going to be that. So again, this is the one.
Yeah.
Or we can just be like, hey, this is what it's going to be.
Right.
Let's say this. It's going to be the 10 rounds of 95. But for fun, I would like to use yours.
Yeah, let's do mine.
Like, for example, what is event one really going to be? It's probably going to be like 30 handstand push-ups, dumbbell hang power cleans, and a 30 cal row, rest a minute, 30 kipping, 30.
Right.
That's what it's probably going to be. But again, this isn't necessarily predicting. We wanted to infuse some new blood to the system.
Yeah.
Because that's what I wrote. But what I would like it to be, and I think you're really going to get almost nearly the same exact workout.
Yeah.
Just in a different way, is what you just said.
Yeah.
100 thrusters for time, 95 and 65, every minute, 30 double unders.
Yep.
Right. And the 5 that you save each round or each minute is another 1 or 2 thrusters that you could probably get within that. So I really think the time frame will be the same. And that's anywhere between that like 6 to 8 minute time window.
Yeah.
Which was some of the best times from that repeat event.
Yeah.
I like that. It's different.
I mean, it's virtually the same, but what will be interesting is it will play different in people's heads. Like they look at, oh, only 9 thrusters. Okay, sweet. Right here, they just got slapped in the face with 100 thrusters.
God, 100 thrusters.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. It's very clever. That's a very clever.
Yeah, because when I saw it too, I was like, oh gosh, really? It's the same one.
Since we're we're collabing as we go instead of separate, at the end we can do what we would like it to be.
Yeah,
for sure going to be. How about that? Okay, so all right, what we would like it to be is 100 thrusters for time every minute on the minute, 30 double unders.
Boom,
95 and 65. I like that.
Cool, huh?
Ooh, that's another good one. All right, event number 4. We have a rack. We have a bar.
Oh man, what should it be? What do you think? 4 front squats, maybe.
Question of what it's going to be.
Okay, again, going to be 4 front squats for time, or 4 front squats. What it should be is overhead squats.
Yes, right. How many?
I'm gonna say 3. Yeah,
I said 3 too.
Yeah. 4 is a little much. 4 is a little much.
Yeah.
I like with 3, it's still gonna be heavy. And it's actually what I like is that's similar to a repeat that they had at the games. I think at the games was 2. You had to do 2 reps.
Was it 2?
I think it was 2.
Regionals, except it was from the floor.
Well, it was there too at regionals, but for the Masters, 2019 games. In the Masters division, they had to do a 2-rep max overhead squat. So I think similar to that, you're still getting, again, it's a qualifier for the games. We don't have anything else in between here. So that should be tested.
Yes.
So I think that's what it should be. So I had the 3 overhead squat. What it wish it would be, but what it will be is 4 front squats.
Now I know we said a lot, especially on the Masters side, but we want to explain why.
Yeah.
Right. Why should it be an overhead squat, or why do we always say that, and why we think so is because the overhead squat is the most
demanding,
challenging, functional, full, I would say, athletic and mobility test you can pass an athlete through, especially in the Masters division.
Totally.
And the reason why they had a 2-rep at the games is because, you could fake 1, but can you do it again?
Yep.
And what we need to do is we need to make sure we vet these athletes appropriately. We have no pull-up bar, as you said.
Right.
That means no toes to bar, no pull-ups, no chest to bar, no bar muscle-ups. We're not using rings, so that means we're not doing ring muscle-ups. We have no handstand walk floor measurements, so you're not doing that. You've eliminated 6 to 7 different massive skills tests to vet this crew that is going to the CrossFit Games, right? And in the Masters division, most athletes are notoriously bad at overhead squats.
Oh man, terrible.
That is, you shouldn't be that if you are going to qualify for the games. And what's the best way to test an athlete's? I mean, an overhead position is somewhat of it's not a skill, but in this demographic, it's not a common skill. We'll say that, right?
No, totally. I mean, if you have an overhead squat, you instantly jump up in the ranks. It's like if you have ring muscle ups, you instantly jump up in the ranks.
Right. And they should be valued on the same frame. And since 100%. You've eliminated handstand walking and muscle ups and stuff, it's like, fine, then we will test your skill set against something else.
Yeah.
Like if you cannot do an overhead squat, you don't belong there.
No,
you're
supposed to be the top 20 in the world.
Everything except that. I'm like, that's great. I can do everything except a deadlift, and that's kept me out of the CrossFit game.
Yep.
And I don't belong there if I can't do it. Now, I will disagree with that because I feel like I have one skill set that I can't. That affects my ability to be good at cleans. I have a poor posterior strength, so my front squats are the same. So it transfers.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't have the full functional flexibility, that's a lot of F's. Full functional flexibility to do an overhead squat, then you probably have a shitty thruster. You can't snatch. I guarantee you that. And your overhead position is probably poor.
You probably bend your elbows when you do your pull-ups. You can't, any kind of toes to bar. You get that weird, funky chicken thing when you're trying to get your head through. All that,
so
yeah.
This is a good test that encompasses more than just the strength it does to do the lift, but the skills it takes to be in a good position. So,
and if you have
about an overhead squat,
the athletes that do have the mobility and the flexibility to get in there, now you can test the strength because they'll be the ones that will be able to move some weight. And that's what I think is, that's why I like that lift so much.
Yeah. So. Especially for the Masters division.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because, brute strength is brute strength. That doesn't mean it transfers. Right? And so that's, I just wanted to really explain why we are stuck on this overhead squat deal on the Masters side. So, yeah, I had the same thing, 3 rep max overhead squat. That's what I put down.
So great, 4 rep front squat. Okay, next.
But moving on to 4 rep front squat. And 2 of them. And the 5th and final floor plan is the same floor plan we had for both individuals and teams. It is a bar, and it is 8 feet away from a box. And one can only assume that it will be the 963 snatches and burpee box jump overs.
But I went with that. I went with that because I liked what it was. I think that I felt that the team numbers should have been the quarterfinal numbers. I felt that the quarterfinal numbers should have been for the teams, the 185, the 135, the 30-inch box. That should have been for your top team people. The 175, 125, 30, and 24, I think should have been for the open qualifier. And so I think that that should be what it is here. But what you would have here are the differences in the age group. So 963 snatch and the box jump overs, I like. I want to keep it at that. But I think that what I did on this one is probably the one that I had the most age appropriate division set. So I did the 175-25 for 35 to 45. Okay. 155, 105 for the 45 to 55, and 135, 95 for 55 plus.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And I kept the 30 and 24-inch box for the 35 to 55, and then I went 24 and 20 for 55 plus. And that I guess on the age group, since we're talking age group, that's on the kid side too. So the 14, 15 would do what the 55 plus is doing.
Oh yeah.
So I had that same setup on that.
Forgot about the kids.
Yeah. But I still think what I think is important is did they have squat? It wasn't squats, it was just snatch, right?
Whatever it is.
I think that because it's regular snatch, that's the other reason why I think that overhead squat is important in the other piece. Because there are a lot of masters that can brute strength an ugly ass snatch and get that weight up overhead, heavier weight up overhead. But the second, they could have a 225 snatch, but if you have to do an overhead squat, they're 135.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have that difference between snatch. Okay, fine. Can you move the weight? Do you have that big hip explosiveness, and can you snap that bar up overhead, and then can you get all the way down in the movement before that? So I like the snatch and the box jump. I like that event. And I think it's appropriate for this level of qualifier to get into the games.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. And really, because I was thinking maybe they'll do that AMRAP idea that we had, like the ground overhead and the burpee box jump overs with the light weight in the lower box. But really, if we're looking at how these all fit together, you still need that sprint element in there.
Yeah.
Since we went super long in event 1, it would be good to keep it in there. The one where I was a little hesitant of keeping it the same is that if it was the overhead squat, it's okay, are we going to overhead squat and snatch in back-to-back events? Right. That's where I brought in just the ground to overhead option.
Okay.
Whereas listen, we forced you to do this way. We know you're limited. Now you can do whatever works best for you. Give them the option on the other one.
Well, the other thing you could do is you could do this. You could make it you could do clean and jerk. Exact same setup. Actually, I would go 185, 135, and go clean and jerk.
Clean and jerk.
Yeah.
That would be, ugh. And then that's a nasty combo because you are doing that burpee off the floor.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to change mine. I'm going to go clean and jerk because the plan with the devil press, that's kind of a snatching movement anyway.
Well, I was also going to say it's also a burpee type movement, and maybe we go clean and jerk and box jump overs and take the burpee out of it. Since the clean and jerk will technically be a little slower.
Yeah.
They'd probably be able to do reps back to back faster.
Well, it depends. If you're talking snatch, I mean, you saw how fast everyone was doing. Like, okay, boom, let me hit one. All right, let me reset on that. Like, you could touch and go clean and jerks.
I was thinking at its fastest.
I mean, unless you're someone like Tola,
so you'd say
Marcano, something like that. It's like
Tola Marcino, right?
It's like just smashing that. Oh, I'm going to do it in 2 minutes. How about that?
He would actually go slow.
Right. Totally.
I was thinking more like per movement, not actually like single. Clean and jerk's probably easier because it's easier to do.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you know what? Okay, let's do this because we're going 20 minutes. 20 minutes with all those burpee pieces of the devil press. Just go box jump overs. Right. Clean and jerk and box jump overs.
And keep the height.
Oh yeah.
24.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? 185 and 135.
Yeah.
Or the 175, 125.
No, 185, 135.
185, 135. Clean and jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Box jump overs. No burpee, but 30 inches and 24.
Yep.
963.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great.
Yeah, make it that.
Okay. What it probably is going to be?
963 snatches and box jump overs.
Snatches and burpee box jump overs because they did a 4-rep max front squat before this. So those are our ideas. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go event by event and do our wish list or wishful thinking versus
reality check.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Reality check versus wishful thinking. So event 1, reality check. My idea was
30. Yeah.
Strict handstand. And the reason why I made it a bulk set because it puts an emphasis on being good at it as opposed to being to skirt around that by only having to do 10 per.
Dude, I'll tell you right now that the 30 strict handstand push-ups is going to, like, that right there will be a massive separator right in the beginning.
And since we're not really doing, like we said, there is no pull-up bar, there are no rings, we're not doing hand walks, you really need to have a massive front-ended test of gymnastic skills. So
totally.
Okay, reality check. 30 strict handstand push-ups. 30 dumbbell hang power clean. And I said 30 cal row.
Yeah.
Same for the women.
Yep.
Less. 1 minute break. Or do you want to do?
No, do it the same way they had it because they're going to do it that way. It's going to be a 1 minute break, and then they're going to go into the regular push press in the row again.
And then 30 kipping handstand push-ups into 30 dumbbell push press into another 30 cal row.
Mm-hmm.
So that is our reality check event. Although that's not a bad wishful thinking event either.
No, it's a good one.
Our wishful thinking event is AMRAP in 20 minutes, 2 strict handstand push-ups, 4 devil press, 8 cal row.
Yep.
And that is our long event.
That's going to be such a good one.
Our 20-minute event. Event 1, reality check, time frame. I know the cap was 10.
They'll probably do that. I would assume the same thing.
I think it would take longer just because that big sets of the handstand push-ups.
It will. This one will take longer, but I think the cap will push it. We'll keep it where it will be very similar to what the quarterfinal was. The
row.
I mean,
I think 10.
Dude, you could actually do it the exact same setup that they had. 3 rounds of 10, 10, and 10. The row will take longer than what the double unders were.
Row, yeah, the double unders was 75 per. So that's 30 to 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Who you are.
I mean, if you're rowing,
or that's like 45 seconds to a minute if you're okay.
Yeah.
But then that's more of a 20 cal row. Let's just keep it at 10.
Yeah.
10-minute cap. We'll keep the same. Event 2, reality check. Oh, we didn't even think about that. Please just give them that workout reality. Let's not.
The reality check, starting off with 60 GHDs.
60 GHD sit-ups. Sorry.
All right, all my 63-year-old athletes, time to blow out your midlines at 60 GHDs and 60 pistols.
All you moms out there, let's just see how your body snapped back after 2 to 3 kids. A lifetime worth of fatigue and stress.
Hold on real fast. And I don't want any of the masses out there. I am talking as one of you. So we're not making fun. We're not poking fun. It's just like we didn't feel that was appropriate for youth badasses, let alone badass older folks like us. So,
yeah, this is the event we wanted the regular quarterfinals to do. So, now we're just making sure they take care of us. I'm in there too. I'm a first degree
masters.
First degree masters. So let's just hopefully for the best. 40, 30, 20, 10, GHD sit-ups, 4, 3, 2, 1, regular rope climbs, 40, 30, 20, 10, alternating pistols.
Yep.
And we said 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So reality check, you have a 10-minute and a 15-minute time frame. Wishful thinking, a 20 and a 15-minute time frame. So we have our long one already. We have our classic time frame mixed together. Event 3, reality. Repeat. Was it open 17.1? Yes.
Was it 17? Yeah, I think so.
I believe so.
Yeah.
10 rounds for time, 9 thrusts at 95 and 65, followed by 35 double unders. 10-minute cap. Wishful thinking. Bill's was, 100 thrusters for time. Every minute, 30 double unders, starting with double unders.
Yes.
Keeping the same 10-minute cap. Fair?
Fair. Done.
All right. So now look back. We have a 20-minute on wishful thinking. 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yep.
On the reality check, we have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Event number 4, the lift. Reality check. 4 rep max front squat. Wishful thinking. 3 rep max overhead squat. And that's our heavy single time frame.
Yep.
Event number 5, reality check.
963.
963 snatches and burpee box jump overs. And what was the cap there? 7 minutes?
They had 7 minutes, 9 minutes, 7 minutes.
Yeah. 7 minutes. And our wishful thinking was 963 clean and jerks at 185 and 135, and box jump overs without the burpee at 30 24. And we can keep the same time frame.
Yeah.
Time cap, knowing full well that now people are going to be closer to that sub 5 minute range because you have the burpee taken out and the easier lift in the clean and jerk or ground overhead, however they want to label it. And so those are our 2 paths. Now, when you look at reality check, it's still wishful thinking, I guess. We're still making this up. 10-minute time frame for event 1, 15-minute time frame for event 2, 10-minute time frame for event 3, 4 rep front squat, and then a 7-minute time frame for event number 5. Wishful thinking, long 20-minute time frame, mid-range classic 15-minute time frame, another mid-range classic 10-minute time frame, heavy lift, and then at the very end, our sprint with the clean and jerk and box jump over?
I don't want to say it that loud, Chase, but God, we're pretty dang good, dude. That sounds pretty damn impressive. Well-rounded, appropriately weighted and repped and timed, and damn, that's a good test to get people to the games.
Let's pat ourselves on the back as we walk through this. Okay, so we said well-rounded. Why is it well-rounded? Okay, well, think of the time frames we just made them go through. 20 to 20 plus, long time frame. 2 events that are 10 to 15 minute time frame. Classic CrossFit. One's a couplet and one's a triplet. Boom. We went heavy. We used a fully functional fitness format. I don't know. With an overhead squat, right? And then we went sprint format, which is we gave a 7-minute time frame, but most will be sub 5. Mm-hmm. Right? Another time domain using a couplet. In event number 1, we tested strict gymnastics in a pressing position. We did work capacity with a dumbbell movement that's a full body from the floor to overhead, using a pull and a push from the floor. And then the monostructural with the row. 20 minutes. That's your endurance test. Event number 2, we went gymnastics with the GHD sit-ups using the core and hip flexors. We tested gymnastic skills in a pulling fashion, which is the rope climb. Yeah. And then we tested a gymnastic skill with a squat, and to another extent is like functional flexibility.
100%.
Using pistol,
yeah.
Right? Then we moved to event number 3, which was skill monostructural, which is the double under, and then a full squat pressed overhead, which is the exact opposite of what the devil press was.
Yep.
Right? Devil press was lay on the floor, pull from top to bottom overhead. The thruster is a full squat in a rack position and a press to overhead. That's where that's where some of the balance comes in. These are the things that we think about. These are the things that we look at. Event number 4, the overhead squat. We won't belabor it, why that's so important when testing the Masters Division, especially when you are qualifying to the CrossFit Games, coupled with the fact that we're missing so many key pieces like a pull-up bar, like a handstand walk, into qualifying your top 20 out of the 10% taking the test around the world. And then our final event, which is a sprint, low volume, 963, we're going to pull from the floor into that front rack position. So different than the thruster.
Yeah.
We're going to push overhead with a heavier weight for less reps, which is more of a dynamic press than it would be your thruster. Most people should be jerking this.
100%.
And then you're doing that dynamic, explosive, athletic movement, which is just the jump on and off and over to the box, taking out the burpee because we already did it in event number 1.
I mean, we hit the strength, we hit the different metabolic pathways, we hit the flexibility elements, and what range of motion, the different range of motion elements, and for the limited amount of equipment and floor plan, I think we were able to expose all the pieces where especially masters will be able to hide. Like you can hide a lot of stuff around, but if you are missing in movement, I think is real important for masters. That's where they can hide. You could be beastly strong, but if you can't move well, you shouldn't be competing against the top 20 in the world at our championship. There are things that are lacking. So I think that we really pull the curtain back on a lot of things with that limited floor plan. So I like it.
I'm going through this. So look at our pieces. Monostructural, we have the row. Mm-hmm. We have the double under. Gymnastics, we have the push, handstand push-up, both strict and kip. Mm-hmm. We have the pull, which is the rope climb. We have the core, which is the GHD sit-up. We have the squat, which is the pistol. And then we have the dynamic, which is the box jump. Mm-hmm. Push, pull, core, squat, dynamic.
Boom, done and done.
Boom, right? And now we go to weightlifting. We have the devil press, which is a pull, single move from floor or ground to overhead. Event 2, we don't have anything. Event 3, we have the squat to press. So everything we skipped in the middle from the devil press. Now we filled that hole. We have the overhead squat. So now we are overhead in a stability position, squatting below parallel and standing up. And then we have the clean and jerk, which now instead of doing a squat from floor through the middle, we're doing a pull to the rack position and a push overhead in more of that dynamic fashion rather than a strict fashion. A lot like coupling a strict handstand push-up and a kipping handstand push-up. We had a strict press overhead and a dynamic press overhead, along with a posterior from the pull from the floor for the clean, squat with the overhead squat in the flexibility position overhead, and the squat with the front squat, taxing the legs and the core. What?
So if you want to nerd out, like we just nerded it out for you right there. Like that's about as nerdy as you could possibly get.
Name one movement pattern, body part, posterior, anterior, overhead, below parallel, core.
The only thing that's missing are specific skills, not movements, not range of movements. I mean, we've hit all of those things, all the pulling, all the pushing, all the squatting, all the dynamic, all that. I think we did a really good job of filling the gaps, filling all of those holes with the limited floor plan and equipment that was available. That's not to say that, I mean, I'm really happy with what we came up with. That's awesome. But we are still, I feel like I really, really like it. I still feel like we are missing some pieces, but we did the best we could based on what we have. Like
for 5 tests in a limited ability. I mean,
it's great. Like I said, it is awesome. I still think that there are pieces, like if we were truly doing like a perfect test, I think we're missing some skills, not parts.
Oh, yeah.
You know, as far as the parts go, we hit everything. We hit the whole body in all different fashions, in all different directions, in all different planes, in all different metabolic pathways as far as a test. And I think that it is a better test for these individuals that are qualifying to the games than the quarterfinals that were being qualified to the semifinal, the level of people that were being qualified into the semifinals.
Right. We're talking about the demographic that we're testing. And
totally. Yeah. Or even the teams qualifying based on, for the purpose of that test in its placement. I think we just came up with a better one for the for the Masters.
Now, I'll say, to be fair, is like, we went through this with Brian Friend when we talked about what was actually a more complete overall test, stage 1 of the CrossFit Games or the quarterfinals for the individuals. And, the quarterfinals for the individuals hit all of these metrics too.
Yeah.
Right. They had that 6 to 10 minute time frame in event 1. They had the long time frame in event 2. They have that mid-range 8 to 10 minute time frame for event 3 with the row wall ball. They tested heavy and they had a sprint. Like the overall test for the quarterfinals, when you just break down the movement patterns, and aside from like volumes and all that stuff that we had concerns with, was still a very well balanced and great test too.
Oh,
so
great.
We're not saying it wasn't. We wanted to make sure is that if we create an alternative, we still put that as the major outline pieces that we need to fill when making a new program.
Right.
I like it.
I like it too.
And I like the reality one, minus like I don't want to do front squats again, and I don't want to do the last snatch burpee box jump over workout again, and I don't want to do the same high volume. Like if they do a lesser volume version 2 for event number 2, I won't have an issue doing that event again, in quotes, because the first time I wanted to go hard and have fun. That's a great combination of movements. That event could have been so great. It was just too much.
Yeah.
I hope they program it like we did or something less so I can actually like do the event and have fun.
I'm really anxious to see how it's done. I mean, we had so much discussion about the teams and how we felt that there was like a laziness to setting that up. I'm really interested to be like, okay, does it end up being that they just hit the rubber stamp on it again and be like, and just kind of, okay, we're going to do this exact same thing, just kind of pass it on that way? Or do they really dumb it down and go, oh, well, they're masters, so let's, really reel it down and be like, okay, so you're going to do 20 GHDs, 10 GHDs time, because that's all it's going to be. Like, I'm really wondering what it'll look like,
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
I'm glad there's some differences.
Yeah.
But like I said, even though the floor plans, some of them are similar and the weights and what they have are similar, it doesn't mean it's going to be the same thing. They have a lot of options. And here's the thing that we had an issue with in the team side is like, the floor plans can be similar. You can even use the same weights, the same dumbbells, and the same movements, but you have so many different ways to test the area that you want to test. Like, say it's like event 2 has to be super long. Okay, well, there's a way to do that without killing people, even though I don't think event 2 should be the high volume endurance.
Dude, as you were talking, I was just kind of daydreaming into the 100 thrusters and the double unders.
Yeah.
That is going to be so different because you can't rest. You're being chased the whole time. When you have just rounds, you can rest whenever you want.
Oh, because no matter what you're doing,
no matter what, you have to do double unders.
Good point. Very good point. I really like that. And unfortunately for my affiliate, they're that
guess what, kids?
If that's not it, I'll program that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
You know what? I have a confession. You know what event I've never done?
Kelsu.
Yep.
You've never done it?
No.
Oh man, dude, I've programmed it into the gym even. I mean, I have ways of making it so that it works for the general.
Baby Kalsu. I've done baby Kalsu with 95 and 65, and I've done like interval versions of Kalsu. But I have this. This is my white whale. Seriously, I have a major like trauma experience with Kalsu because when I first started CrossFit, our gym badass at the time, and he was a legit badass. His name was Ant, and his appropriately named because he was like super small but just a stud. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm probably 6 to 8 weeks into the gym. I've already identified who the beasts are, and now I'm trying to like watch what they do. You know, I was the guy that would work out at 6 a.m., come back after work because I was single and young and had no priorities in my life. I didn't pay for rent. I didn't have dogs yet. And I would come back and just like watch people do the events or the workout of the day or cheer my friends on. You know, that's what we used to do.
Yeah.
And I watch him go off into the corner by himself and do this event. And it broke him off so bad. Like 23, 24 minutes.
Ooh, dang.
And I'm watching this as a fresh, young CrossFitter, watching someone who I thought was indestructible get dismantled. I'm like, it's like when you go to dad, right? No matter how old I get, dad is still dad. The same dad that was whooping my ass when I was 5, he's still like that to me. I do not screw with dad, even though he's older, and like I still won't, because I still know my dad will still take me down.
All it takes is one correctly placed finger poke to the chest.
You too. I don't know. Maybe it's like a wrestler thing or something, but my dad has the strongest finger known to man. Like my dad could take out vampires with that damn poke to the heart. Holy shit, that's really funny. So yeah. So now me, like I'm still baby Chase seeing Kalsu come up. I'm like, I can't do this. I watched this train wreck happen, and I'm like permanently scarred from it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I've never done it. That's the one thing I've been such a little bitch about is that I'm afraid to do Kalsu.
There's that the way it's set up with those burpees, and again, you're being chased by the time. We had another one where we had a test to do. We had a group that was doing like open gym stuff, and they wanted to kind of be on the we want to, if there's a chance to be on a team, we want to be on the team kind of a thing. And so one of the, how do I say, qualifiers or, I don't even call it hazing, but one of the events that you had to do, it was a version of that.
A rite of passage. It's not hazing.
Oh, that makes it sound way better.
Rite of passage.
Okay, 2,000 meter row.
Okay.
Every minute on the minute, you have 5 burpees.
Oh, I've programmed that, except I made him do. Oh no, I did something different.
So you start with your 5 burpees. Ooh, and then you just have to go. And I think we actually did burpees over the. I think it was burpees over the rower.
Rower.
Yeah. So like you're scrambling to get in, and then it ends up being where there's a couple rounds where you're like, all right, well, I'm just sitting this round out. I'll wait and get the next burpees here on the next one.
So I have one. That's so weird that you have that, because I have one that's a test. It's the same thing. It's a 2K row, but every 2 minutes you do 10 burpees.
Same deal. Yeah.
Now you only have, if you're sprinting over a rower, like it might take you 40 to 45 seconds.
Totally.
Transition on and off, like you're going to get a minute to minute 15, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's to start the workout.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have the same exact workout, except I bumped it up to 2 and then doubled.
Dude, I'm telling you that's the Kelsey feel. It is.
Yeah. No, it's that. What it is, it's, what that feeling is? It's the feeling of you're in a room and the water is filling up in it.
Totally. Yeah.
Right? It's like, I'm good. Water's at my feet, ankles, knees, waist. And you're like, okay.
It's getting a little close.
As soon as it hits the nipple range, oh no.
And as a programmer, that's one of the ones, and I tell, I'll do certain EMOMs and stuff like that just with the general class, and I'll always tell them, I'm like, this is one of those events where you don't get to dictate your rest. I dictate your rest.
Yes.
Like, you don't get to pick it. And the second the client, the athlete, the member realizes it, like, oh, dang, it's not my race anymore. Like, I'm being, like, you feel like you're in the horse story, man, and you're running through the forest, and that werewolf is out there somewhere. You hear it. It's coming at you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're right. Because as soon as the scales tip the other way, it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Man, and it's really weird. You go from thinking, okay, I'm all right. You have one round of, man, this is getting close. The second that round is done, you're like, I'm not making it. And boom, you're underwater. That's it.
There's no coming back.
Nope.
You can do all the minutes of burpees you want. You're not. and that's why I'm never going to do Kalsu. I'm kidding. I wanted to put it out there on the podcast because now I'm probably going to get Kalsu shamed for the rest of my life. I know I need to do it. I have been dodging that event for 13 years.
Man.
Yeah.
I've done that event a bunch of times.
No, bro.
Like, I remember doing that like way back in the day. When I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. I remember
that was one of those like workouts that that was like part of the resume. It's like, have you done Kalsu, 30 muscle ups for time, Fran, Helen, Kelly, high volume one. Kalsu for me is like one of those that I put on par with King Kong. Like, I am doing it ever. What do you want me to do? PR my deadlift by 30 pounds 5 times? Or 3 times? I guess it's 3 rounds?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Confession time. I guess that means I have to do it. We'll see.
Oh, man. All right.
Well, that was fun.
What these guys come up with.
Yeah, let's see what these guys come up with. Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Our little our two paths. What it might be, what we wish it would be, and even then, like what it might be, we still made up just to show you that there's so many different options out there, and that has been the frustrating, the non-fun part, because what we think is fun is fresh programming.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you going to make the individuals do? Okay, that was different. What are you going to make the teams do? I can't wait to see new team workouts. Oh, there wasn't any. Okay, that sucked. All right, what are you going to make the masters do? Those are the things we look forward to. So if anything, we just like seeing new ideas. And when we don't, it's not fun, right? That's more personal. That's subjective, but I love, like I said all the time, is like I love when regionals is on the cusp. Like, what are the new events going to be? What is that secret games event that nobody knows about that we know is going to happen Saturday night, even though they said this is the last event, right?
Right.
And with these semis, like now we have even more possibilities out there since they can all do their own programming. So
yeah,
I'm curious, very curious.
Me too.
All right, hey, good times, Bill.
Oh, that was a good one.
Good times. Well, in 24 hours or a little bit more than that, we will know what the Age Group Online Qualifiers are going to be. Depending on what they are, I will register or I will coach. But we will see. I have, as always, beforehand, I'm going to stay positive. I have high hopes. And if anything happens, well, don't worry, because next week on Tuesday, we will analyze the programming of the Age Group Online Qualifier and have come full circle to where our very first episode was, which was analyze the program of the 2020 Age Group Online Qualifier. So either way, we'll have something to talk about next week.
It's going to be good.
Bill, good luck to you and your crew.
Thanks, my friend. You too.
Thank you very much. Good luck to all you Masters athletes out there, you teenagers. Teenagers, you are the future. Masters, you are the ones they look up to.
That's
Have a great weekend and good luck, everyone.
Good luck, everybody.